Am I audible?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I just want to remind all of us who are gathered today that today is August 5th, and of course, it's the first anniversary of the abrogation, the writing down of Article 370. But in India, if you were to turn the television on tonight, you would see a completely different set of images, because today is the day that Prime Minister Narendra Modi did the Shilanyas. He laid the foundation stone for a grand new temple in Ayodhya on the site of the Babri Masjid, a mosque, which was brought down in 1992 and is probably one of, I would argue that after partition, it's probably the single most divisive and uh, uh, destructive event in the history of modern India. Why was this date chosen? I think we have to remind ourselves it's not an accident, because today is not a particular festival or a particular occasion. It's not a coincidence that it was put on August 5th. It was a reminder that from the Prime Minister and from his party, the BJP, and from the ideological apparatus to which they belong, which is the RSS, that they have fulfilled two of their very long-held promises. One thing that everybody here must know is that the BJP and its predecessors, like the Jan Sangh and the RSS, have for 75 years said that they would, take away all of Kashmir's special status and make it their own. So by abrogating Article 370, they have fulfilled what I would describe almost like a kind of civilizational promise that they had made to their followers, to what is referred to as Hindutva, which is the politicization of the Hindu religion. And of course, by juxtaposing it with the construction of this temple, a kind of a very, very powerful message is going out, and perhaps the international sort of audience is not going to make that connection. But I mean, if you were to go by the international press, there's much more about Kashmir today than there is about the temple at Ayodhya. But I think it would be a terrible mistake not to see the connection between the two. We don't have much time, but I just wanted to say one thing. It's not necessarily a hopeful thing, but I think that what happened with the abrogation of Article 370 is that I don't think the government in India fully understood what they were changing or breaking when they abrogated Article 370. For example, all of us know that the Chinese government had made a statement immediately after the abrogation saying that this is unacceptable. And I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about in August last year. So suddenly the abrogation of Article 370 has reminded us that there is a pre-existing state of Jammu and Kashmir to which many of us belong, irrespective of which side of the border we are, and that there are older connections which the partition of British India completely severed those connections. The creation of India and Pakistan, the wars between India and Pakistan, the dispute over Kashmir actually severed several jugular veins. So the connections between the Kashmir Valley and the people of Kargil, between the people of Kargil and the people of Gilgit, between the people of Kargil and the people of Ladakh, between the people of Ladakh and the people of Tibet, we have to understand that the Dogra rulers 2 centuries ago might have artificially put together this state. But this is a region. It's a region with real live connections and with real, there are affinities of language, of culture, of trade, all of which 1947 put an end to. and the endless hostilities between India and Pakistan have. So I think in a sort of strange way, I think that the abrogation has suddenly reminded us. I mean, for example, all of you are aware of the tension between India and Pakistan and China, which is going to be a major burden on India for the near future. It's not easy to see how it's going to be resolved. So, but it also reminds us of these connections, you know. So I think that once again, it's been from 1947 to now. It's been more than 75 years. We know that, but 75 years is a twinkle in the eye of a civilization. It's a twinkle in the eye of connections. So while it's a very depressing moment in Kashmir, and I don't want to use my time to talk about that, because that's an endless sea of sorrow that one can get into. But I just want to say that in some strange way, what I take away from this moment, and by the tensions between India and China and what it reminds me of, I take it away as a reminder that this is a region, and that is the reason why we are having this conversation. It's not just a conversation between Kashmiris on this side of the border and Kashmiris on that side of the border, but that eventually we are all in some way connected. So I think I won't take more time than that. Zafar Saab, thank you very much for this invitation, and I'll be here.
Thank you very